Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Contemplation brought to you by Spotlight Recovery. I'm your host, Lucas. Today is February 22nd, and I've got a reading for us from, what is it called? Body, Mind, and Spirit Daily Meditations. Talking about all about information. I had this one bookmarked from a while ago, which I thought was pretty neat. So I'll put it up on the screen here, and please feel free to follow along, and let's get into it. The power of information. Information is a virus that carries freedom. Walter B. Wriston. In our recovery from addiction, we found that information grants freedom. Before we knew we had an illness called addiction, we thought we were bad people. Then somehow each of us got the information that there is hope, there is treatment, there's a program for recovery. There is a new life waiting for us. We began moving toward freedom. Freedom from alcohol and drugs, freedom from fear, freedom from despair and self-hatred. Our minds constantly process events and tell us who we are. As we learn healthy new ways to live, our minds grow in positive ways too. We find we're hungry for knowledge. Gathering information is one reason we continue to go to meetings and read daily meditations. Information helps us remain free. It reminds us of where we've been and where we are going. And we gain new insight into illness, addiction, and ongoing recovery. Information can bring us freedom. Today I pray that I will always be willing to listen and learn. This inspiration is from Body, Mind, and Spirit Daily Meditations. Okay. So, there are a couple of things that stand out for me in this one. The first is in one of those opening lines. Before we had an illness called addiction, we thought we were bad people. I did not. I didn't. I always knew deep down in my heart that I was and wanted to be a good person. And then my true self would strive to be a good person. A friend of mine said this about somebody else in my life at one point, and the line's always stuck with me because it's so funny. And it was, he wants to be a good person. He's just really bad at it. And that, when my addiction took over, that's what stood out for me. And that's what was happening to me, basically. And I think that was a part of what was feeding my addiction so much, is because I very quickly was not being the person I wanted to be. I was not growing into the person I wanted to be at all, or the person that I knew I was and could be deep down. I was completely losing touch with that person because of my addiction. And so that was just so painful. And so that was something that fed the disease a lot. And then that was what had me in my addict self not being the best person that I was or wanted to be. So I think that distinction is important. And just in general, it's a really important distinction between me and my disease, my true self and my addict self. I feel there really needs to be a separation there, because I am not my disease and vice versa. It's a part of me. It's something I have. It's something that's never going anywhere. I have a daily reprieve to treat and work from, but for now in 2024, as we know, it is, or as far as we know now, it is currently incurable, besides doing this daily work at it. So that separation is important. So not bad people. I wasn't nearly the kind of person I wanted to be in my addiction. Anyway, there's that one. But I've always been that knowledge and information seeker kind of person. I mean, I'm a nerd. I nerd out on this stuff, in school and university. Like, okay, time to write a topic essay. I was like, yes, because I got to learn this stuff. And so that was a big thing for me when I came into recovery. It became like a giant research project, and same with finding my higher power, finding God, something that was going to work for me once I realized that I had to. That became a whole other big research project in itself. So learning all about the disease of addiction, why I worked the way that I worked, why I did things the way that I did, I mean, just the more that I understood all this and learned about myself, oh my God, so much freedom. Like it says in that opening line, virus. It's an interesting quote, but it's true. That brought me so much freedom the more I understood about myself and my disease. It was very important for me. I remember, I'll never forget, I was in a lecture in rehab. One of the first ones was given by an addictions doctor, Dr. Weiss. If you are watching this, I love you, man. Thank you so much for changing my life. I'll send you an email. Anyway, he spoke about how the disease of addiction lies in the reptilian brain. So it's in that same spot of our brain where we look for sex, procreate, food, shelter, fight, flight, freeze, free, that one. I'm going to get stuck on that. And so I was understanding and realizing that so much of my behavior wasn't just like, oh, I need to get drugs to get high. My disease tells me I need to get drugs or else I'm going to die. I need this to survive. It has now become more important than food. For me, procreation, other people that is, then becomes the disease. Their addiction is addicted looking at procreation. So anyway, once he was just talking about that, it was just like this whole huge weight was lifted off my shoulders. Because I was like, okay, sure, I like drugs, but my true self doesn't want them this bad and doesn't want to like them this bad, but I can't stop doing everything in my power to get them. Why is that? Understanding that that's how my disease worked was so liberating. And the more that I learned and just understood myself and why I acted the way I did, so then as through recovery I'm growing, and I'm doing this also in therapy too, outside of 12-step, more and other like professional help, was so and has been so beneficial, just so I can continue to learn more about me. I mean, I think that's one of the worst feelings when somebody asks, why did you do that? And you say, I don't know. You don't know why you chose a behavior. Like, that's never a good answer. That's never good. So the more I understand about me, the more power I have to then be choosing my behaviors, my emotions, my thoughts, because these things all are in our power to choose when we are free from addiction. It's just so, that's been so impactful for me and so important. And also for me, it's fun and I like learning and growing. So it's kind of like a win-win. I feel like I'm losing or trailing off on something here. I think that second paragraph, I think I was pretty much just sharing and talking on that. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to wrap up on that one for now. I do have to get to work. So I'm going to leave it on that for today. But yes, I hope that resonated for you the way that it did for me. Please share in the comments what stands out for you in this reflection, or just about the power of information. How is increasing that knowledge of yourself and about the disease helped you in your recovery? Would love to hear it. That share could really help somebody else, so please throw it down there. And if you like what you're hearing and are looking to grow in this area in your recovery, send me an email, lucas@spotlightrecovery.com. I do private recovery coaching. I've got space in my practice right now. I'd be happy to connect with you and see if there's a way I can help provide you some more information so you can grow and develop in your recovery too. And if you're looking for even more information, check out the description of this video. We've got other recovery coaching videos, a podcast, other service providers. There's a whole bunch down there for you. It's all free. Please check that out, and then do the YouTube thing. So if you're digging it, you're connecting with what we're putting out into the world, then please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss videos. Like it and share it with others if you think it could help them or if it's helped you. And then lastly, supporting the channel really makes a difference. So donating, becoming a member, getting some merch, all these things can really help us a lot so we can put more of these videos out there, help more people in recovery. Because like I say, that's the whole point. Okay, so thank you for joining us. Wishing you another blessed 24, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.